The movie opens with a covert military operation already in motion. A group of soldiers rides silently inside an armored vehicle, heading toward a black site mission to capture Sergei Ipax, the younger brother of a notorious poacher and crime lord, Lazar Ipax. Among the unit are Jessica Brock and Daniel Connor, secret lovers forced to hide their relationship behind combat discipline. Upon reaching the target location, the mission appears to go smoothly. Sergei is captured, and Jessica herself restrains him. But everything suddenly unravels. It was a trap from the very beginning. Their sniper is assassinated by Lazar himself, while the rest of the team is distracted by screens displaying horrifying footage of kidnapped children. Believing the hostages are nearby, the soldiers follow the cables connected to the screens, desperate to save them, only to discover they're nothing but playback devices. Before they can react, a massive metal gate slams shut. Grenades rain down into the confined space, killing the team instantly. Jessica refuses to stop, pushing through the chaos until she's wounded as well. In the confusion, Sergei escapes. Lazar's men swarm the area, hunting Jessica down, and in a brutal struggle, she slashes the throat of Ivan Ipax, another one of Lazar's brothers. That single act ignites Lazar's fury. He captures Daniel, already badly injured from the earlier grenade explosion, and savagely beats him, firing bullets into his legs while screaming for Jessica to surrender. Every shot is meant to break her will, forcing her to choose between saving the man she loves or escaping alive. Faced with an impossible choice, Jessica does the unthinkable. She runs. A gunshot echoes. And just like that, the movie leaves us hanging. Did she abandon love to survive, or was survival the only way to fight back? Why was this mission truly set up, and what kind of nightmare did Jessica just escape from? 12 years later, we find Jessica living a completely different life in South Africa, working as a wildlife conservator alongside her colleague Kimmy. Her days are now filled with patrols, nature, and quiet routines, a sharp contrast to the violence she once survived. But that peace doesn't last. During one of their drives, Jessica notices a truck tailing them. Her instincts kick in immediately. She watches it closely in the rearview mirror, tension creeping back into her posture. Distracted, she almost misses what's ahead. At an intersection, she narrowly avoids crashing into a passing car, slamming the brakes just in time. The truck speeds past them and disappears. Then, from the back seat, a young girl's voice cuts through the silence, calmly asking if everything is okay. That's when the truth lands. Jessica isn't just surviving anymore, she's a mother now. And whatever danger just resurfaced, it may not be after her alone. The next morning, Jessica and Kimmy are called to a nearby village to remove a snake from a house. Unnoticed by Jessica, the same truck that followed her the previous day rolls in silently and parks at a distance, watching. Inside the house, the situation turns out to be harmless. The snake is non-venomous. With steady hands, Jessica carefully lifts it, secures it inside a container, and places it in the trunk of their vehicle. As she heads back toward the driver's side, something feels wrong. One of the tires is flat. Before she can react, chaos erupts. Kimmy is suddenly grabbed from behind, a knife pressed against her throat. Jessica turns, and in the same instant, she's struck on the head with a metal object, collapsing to the ground. A man stands over her, threatening to kill her. Then, in a split second, another man bursts in. He knocks down Kimmy's attacker, saving her. His comrade jump in but got beaten savagely. With no other option, the two attackers flee for their lives. Jessica forces herself up. She looks at the man who saved her. And freezes. It's Daniel, the ghost from her past, standing right in front of her. Jessica sends Kimmy away to take care of her daughter, while she stays behind with Daniel at a quiet bar. Over beers, the past finally starts to surface. Jessica asks the question she's been holding back for years. How did he survive? Daniel tells her he woke up in a hospital, badly wounded. After that, prison. Years behind bars. Eventually, he claims he was released by a wealthy mining tycoon who needed protection for a mining site deep in the Congo. Now, Daniel wants Jessica to join him there, to work together again. But Jessica doesn't trust him. When Daniel hints about her having a child, Jessica denies it instantly, keeping her secret hidden. She tells him she'll think about the offer and leaves the bar. As Jessica reaches her car, silently she messages Kimmy, telling her to take her daughter to Kimmy's place and keep her safe. A man suddenly rises from the back seat and locks his hands around her throat, choking her until she loses consciousness. She's dragged into another vehicle without ever waking up. Daniel arrives seconds later. He calmly picks up her phone, notices the photo of her daughter on the screen. Daniel was with the attackers all along. They drive off together, taking Jessica away while she remains unconscious. Now the betrayal cuts deeper than the ambush 12 years ago. Upon reaching the camp, Jessica is dragged out of the vehicle, beaten, and violently tied to a wooden pillar. The blindfold is ripped from her eyes, and there he is, Daniel, sitting calmly among the men. Rage floods her face as she screams his name. Then Lazar Ipak steps forward, cold, controlled, smiling. He asks her what she really expected from a man she abandoned between life and death all those years ago. That's when the truth finally comes out. Lazar never shot Daniel. That night, he shot Ivan Ipaks, not out of cruelty, but to end his brother's suffering and give him a peaceful death. And for 12 long years, Lazar has been searching for Jessica, not for answers, but for revenge. Sergei Ipaks returns from hunting, accompanied by Lazar's girlfriend, Sherry. Soon after, news comes in about a rhino sighting. Lazar gathers his men and heads out on the hunt, leaving Jessica tied to the pillar under guard. Once they're gone, Daniel approaches her. He holds up her phone and asks why she lied about not having a child. Jessica pleads with him, begs him not to tell them about her daughter. Their whispers raise suspicion. Before she can say anything else, Daniel grabs an empty bottle and smashes it against her head, glass shards scattering across the ground. Then, with cruel intent, he kicks a large shard closer to her and walks away. Minutes later, the man left in charge enters alone. He sends the guards away, then turns on Jessica, attempting to assault her. But he makes one fatal mistake. Jessica has been cutting through the rope. In a split second, she grabs the broken glass and slashes his throat. She runs. The guards return and immediately tie up Daniel, accusing him of helping her escape. They call Lazar and launch a full-scale search. When Lazar returns, his men prepare to execute Daniel, but Lazar stops them. No, he says. He dies last. The hunt for Jessica begins. And this is no longer just revenge. It's a game of survival. Deep in the jungle, a bloodied and exhausted Jessica runs for her life. Thorns rip into her legs, tearing skin with every step, but she doesn't stop. Fear is no longer pushing her, instinct is. A hunter named Benny spots her through the trees and immediately opens fire. Bullets rip through branches as Jessica sprints blindly ahead. Moments later, another hunter, Peck, hears the gunshots and joins the chase on his motorcycle, firing as he closes in. Jessica uses the terrain to her advantage. Peck's bike sinks into thick mud, buying her precious seconds. She runs ahead, quickly tying a wire across the path before disappearing into the foliage. Peck finally frees the bike and speeds forward, only to be decapitated instantly by the wire she set. Jessica takes his boots and attempts to steal the motorcycle, but it won't start. With no time to waste, she abandons it and keeps running. Benny radios Lazar, reporting Peck's death. Lazar immediately orders him to fall back, telling him bluntly that he's not a real hunter and should wait for the others. But humiliation overrides fear. Ignoring Lazar's command, Benny decides to take Jessica alone. They clash in a brutal, desperate hand-to-hand fight, survival against arrogance, and Jessica ends it. She takes his gun and walks away. And now the hunters realize something far too late. The prey is killing. Another hunter appears, Whiteman. Without warning, he fires an arrow that slashes into her leg, dropping her to the ground. Fighting through the pain, Jessica fires back and hits him in the shoulder, forcing him into cover. She snaps the arrow from her leg, breathing hard. From her bag, she pulls out a container of fuel she had already taken earlier. She quickly turns it into a Molotov, hurling it toward Whiteman. Flames erupt, forcing him back and buying her precious seconds to escape. Back at the camp, Lazar contacts his girlfriend and orders her to torture Daniel until he reveals any weakness Jessica might have. She obeys without hesitation, cutting off Daniel's toes one by one, trying to break him. By morning, the hunt resumes. Jessica reaches an abandoned house, hoping for shelter, but the hunters aren't far behind. From inside, she spots a pickup truck and makes a desperate run for it, only to realize it's a setup. Whiteman is already on the roof with a sniper rifle, firing relentlessly. Another hunter opens fire from the ground. With bullets ripping through the walls, Jessica drives the truck straight through the other side of the building, jumps out, and grabs a bow. As she struggles to load an arrow, the ground hunter reaches her and a brutal hand-to-hand fight breaks out. Above them, Whiteman keeps shooting but can't get a clear shot. The truck blocks his view. Then everything goes wrong for him. One bullet hits the truck's gas tank. The vehicle explodes, burning Whiteman's own partner alive instead of Jessica. Exhausted and barely able to stand, Jessica reaches for another arrow, but Whiteman is suddenly there, beating her down. Just as he thinks he's won, she rolls, grabs the bow already loaded, and fires a single arrow straight into him, killing him instantly. And in that moment, it becomes clear. This hunt was never meant to be fair, but Jessica refuses to be prey. When Lazar arrives at the scene, he finds his hunters destroyed, one dead, another burned but barely alive. A four-wheel bike is missing, and Lazar instantly understands the truth. Jessica is no longer running blindly, she's moving fast and free. Moments later, Lazar's voice crackles through the radio. He delivers the ultimate threat: her daughter, Nikki, has been captured, Kimmy is dead, and it was all possible because Daniel finally talked. Jessica stops the bike, listening in silence. Then she turns around. Whatever freedom she tasted doesn't matter anymore. A mother doesn't run when her child is taken. Back at the camp, Daniel and Nikki are locked in the same room. Daniel notices the military dog tags around Nikki's neck and asks about them. She explains they belong to her father, a soldier who died before she was born. When Daniel looks closer, his world collapses. The name on the tag is his. In that moment, Daniel realizes the truth: Nikki is his daughter. On the road, Jessica's bike finally runs out of fuel. She abandons it and disappears into the jungle. Back at camp, Lazar's men bury Nikki alive. Soon after, Sergei arrives with another man in a Toyota truck to inspect the abandoned bike. As the man returns to report, a single bullet blows his head apart. Jessica was waiting. She charges the truck. Sergei attacks, overpowering her and nearly killing her, until he forgets one thing. During the fight, Jessica had soaked him in alcohol. She flicks a lighter. Sergei burns alive. Jessica opens the radio so Lazar can hear his brother's screams, turning pain into a message. Inside the camp, Daniel fights back after learning the truth about Nikki, but he's weak. Lazar stabs him and leaves him for dead. Without Lazar's knowledge, his girlfriend and another hunter leave the camp in a truck to hunt Jessica. They find her and unleash hell with a mounted minigun, tearing the jungle apart. Jessica dodges, fires back, and hits Lazar's girlfriend, flipping the vehicle. Believing it's over, Jessica lowers her guard, but the hunter survives and attacks her viciously. In the struggle, Jessica reaches a shotgun and kills him. She finds Lazar's girlfriend alive, begging for mercy. But Jessica is done begging. She executes her. Back at camp, Lazar tightens security and prepares to escape, but it's already too late. Jessica storms in, gunning down his men one by one. Lazar flees in a car, but Daniel, still alive, opens fire, hitting Lazar before being struck himself. Jessica reaches Daniel. With his final strength, he tells her where Nikki was buried. Jessica digs desperately. Lazar, not dead yet, attacks her one last time. The fight is brutal, savage, and personal, until Jessica kills Lazar with a piece of rhino ivory, ending the hunt forever. The movie ends with Jessica, Daniel, and Nikki driving away together, leaving the camp and the nightmare behind. Because in the end, they didn't just survive the hunt, they ended it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.